It's guidance that you ask for. How very interesting. More often than not, humans like you do not require guidance. They already know exactly what they are, who they are meant to be. They don't ask for guidance in figuring things out. Rather, they ask for guidance to return to the path from which they believe they've strayed. The path that was not created by any higher power, but by those around them who seek to keep things stagnant and impure, divided and improper. They create new rules, new sins, to gain control over those whom they perceive to be their underlings. But you are all equal in the eyes of those of us who watch over you, and in the eyes of your Creator, whom we serve. It is unwise to doubt the words of an angel, though I suppose I do understand. I come to you in this form and you assume I'm a demon, don't you? A devil trying to lure you down the path of corruption? Quite fascinating that you would trust a horrific creature instead of that which stands before you now. How interesting that your little book has taught you to fear that which is welcoming and to love that which is horrifying. It is true. We angels do possess more horrific forms, repulsive and disgusting, meant to scare away demons, but for a human such as yourself to see one of us in such a form, it would destroy you. So do forgive me for deciding to forego my appearance and come to you like this. Or, if you would rather I come to you as a man, I can certainly oblige. This may not be something with which you humans are familiar. However, angels are not so different from you, nor is your Creator. The story goes that God created man in his own image. But what does it mean to be created in the image of God? God, you see, is boundless in his love and his potential. At least, that is what you've been taught, isn't it? It should be. However, given the way that the world has gone, I wouldn't be surprised if the teachings you've received have been from those who have been corrupted by other influences, their own sins, greed, pride, wrath. It would be most unsurprising, then, to learn that you've been taught you have another place in this world, another role, one in which you cannot differ from anyone else, one in which, to be like God, you must simply be one thing. However, while it is true that you can never be precisely the same as God, after all, ever since the original sin, that has been impossible. While this is true, you are still created in her image. Confused, are you? I understand. More often than not, you are taught that God is your Heavenly Father, that she is also your Heavenly Mother. They are your Heavenly Guardian. Yes. If you were created in God's image, then you are not meant to be man, woman, solely. You are not meant to be anything that does not suit who you are on the inside. There are those who are perfectly content to remain within the binary of sex and gender, and so long as they are comfortable, there is no issue with that. However, those who say that you are impure for what you are, that you are shunned by God, well, those people haven't the foggiest idea about which they speak. You are as close to God as most humans can get. You understand that the world isn't simply black or white, man or woman, right and wrong. While there are some actions that are so, one or the other, while there are some choices that are purely right or wrong, the world exists in a spectrum of color. One cannot say that something can only be one or the other. God did not create this world for such a purpose. What I mean to say, dear, is that you are Is that what they tell you? That you are unnatural? I suppose that is true. Though, take a closer look at the natural world. God created everything in their own image. Look at the other living beings that share this earth with you. Plenty are like you, deciding not to be a man or a woman, understanding that It isn't always necessary to be simply one or the other. While it is, rather unfortunately, less discussed amongst humans, you aren't the first to be born this way. You aren't the first to accept who you are. You are hardly the first. As a matter of fact, back in ancient times, the Greeks believed that God had misplaced their soul into the wrong body. Granted, they worshipped different gods than you do. However, they believed that the one responsible for assigning a soul to a body had been drunk and made a careless mistake. That was their explanation for people like you. People who found that their bodies didn't quite match who they were on the inside. You have always existed. It's just that certain belief systems found that such freedom was a threat to their power. They believe themselves to be gods among humans, so they say that they speak for him, that they know what he decrees is right and wrong. But we know better. We serve them, after all. The father, the mother, the guardian and creator of this entire world. You're not so different. You were created in her own image, and you are smiled upon because you embrace the beauty of it. You don't need guidance back onto the path that these greedy humans have made for you. You've found where you're meant to be, in the arms of your beloved Creator. Do not let anyone dare to take that away from you.